host, Heather Vickery. For those of you who are new, why did you tune in today? Well, you tuned in because something somewhere told you it was time to show up for yourself. That's what I help people do. I'm a transformation coach and a community builder and a retreat host. And I help people learn to see themselves clearly, love themselves honestly and authentically, and then build a life they're madly in love with based on that foundation to work and live and be embodied in joy, to grow from a space of embodied joy, to step bravely into a life that you want. How cool is that? It's the coolest thing ever. I am here live every Thursday at 12 p.m. Central. I'm live on TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. Love being able to share this time and space with all of you. I especially love it when people show up and they connect and they ask questions and they comment. So feel free to tell me where you are, where you're tuning in from, all that good stuff. It is a lot of fun to be here. I will fully admit that I am a little bit on the tired side today. I woke up much earlier than I needed to. No idea why. And although I've had a nice, easy morning, which I always do before the live show, feeling very tired today, but that's okay. We have a great topic today. I'm super excited to share it with all of you. Um, I am a projector in human design. How many of you know what human design is? So, human design is a modern scientific self discovery system based on several different ancient sciences and philosophies: the Chinese I Ching, Kabbalah, Buddhism, quantum physics, the chakra system, and astrology. And as a projector in human design, I am designed to rest before I'm successful, which is exactly why I do what I said I did earlier today. On a day where I know that I have a lot of clients, where I have to do a live show, where I have to really be on, I ease into my day. I slow down. What I've been doing, which has been delightful, I'm here in Chicago. Since the weather has been nice, I take my coffee outside and I sit in our sweet little backyard and I listen to the birds chirp. And sometimes I'm on my phone and sometimes I read a book and sometimes I just sit there and breathe the fresh air. But I find ways to ease into my life. I prioritize, I block time, my schedule so that I make sure I get all the things done. And honestly, yesterday I teched really hard and I am not a techer. So that took it out of me. That could be part of why I'm feeling so tired today is I did a lot of work on my website, working on my Costa Rica retreat and my new subliminal audio library. Both of those things are super, super cool. So my work is the intersection of science and spirituality, not religion, spirituality, woo woo, magic, magical thinking. I'm here for magical thinking. I'm here for manifestation. I'm also 100% positive that nothing works unless we do. That manifestation is not just declaring that you want something, it's declaring you want something and then shifting the way you show up in the world to make it happen. But that doesn't mean that there's not magic happening in the process, that there's not magic taking place. And today's topic is about dreams. Maybe they're daydreams, maybe they're dreams you're actually having in your sleep. I can tell you that ever since I got back from the MLO Institute in Costa Rica, which is where I am hosting my January 26th retreat, my connection to the universe, to divine, to spirit, to God, whatever you want to call it, has been really sharp. And I have noticed that in that, fuzzy space between sleep and wake, I'm getting clear messages. I'm getting really clear downloads. Sometimes they're just for me, sometimes they're for other people, sometimes they're action oriented, sometimes they're just things that I need to know and I'm actually remembering them. My best guess is I have always gotten messages in that time frame, but I couldn't hear them. I couldn't retain them. But now I can and I do, which is really really cool. But let's specifically talk about the daydreams that you have when you're in the middle of an ordinary day, you're doing your work, you're doing the laundry, or whatever it is, and you kind of zone off and you start to think about something far off, non-existent that you just think it's a pipe dream. It's not a possibility. It's not really a thing that you could have. What is that? What is that dream? Because I'm here to tell you that it is not playful. I mean, it is playful and fun, but it's not imaginary. It's intel from your soul. You are allowed to desire the things that you dream about when nobody is demanding anything from your presence. The thoughts, the ideas, the desires, the dreams that show up for you When you're not paying attention, their messages for you. They're here for you. They want to be alive, and you are the only one that can make them alive. They're not distractions. They come from the deepest part of you. They come from your core. That part of you that remembers who you are underneath all of the conditioning that the society has put on you. You get rid of the noise, you get rid of the hustle, and all of a sudden, what you really want bubbles up. And my personal story, and I'll give a little shout out to one of my clients. And if she happens to see this, she's going to know it's for her. So, hey, she just took a beautiful, beautiful trip to Paris. And I adore Paris. If you can see behind me, I'm actively manifesting living in Paris. And I'm going to tell you how I got to that. So, those are pictures that I took while I was in Paris, both sides. Um, I have always dreamed of going to Paris. I have always felt like there was a soul connection there for me, but I didn't know when I'd get there or if I'd get there or how I'd get there. And my partner took me, amazing. The first time we went was in 2019. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. 2019. And there was something about Paris. When I touched the ground, my feet touched the ground, I felt like a soul tether, like a connection, like this is the place you belong. And it felt like home. It felt different than any other place I'd been, and I have traveled a lot in my life. I've been a lot of places, and then I took my daughter to Paris in 2022. I think so, 22. And the same thing, and something shifted when we were on that trip. On the last day, we had done all the things we wanted to do. We'd had such a great time. We'd been there for a week, and the last day was just a rest day. And in Paris in the summer now, they do plage at the Seine. They have like all sorts of pop-up beaches all over the Seine, which is amazing. And so we had been sitting on the riverbank reading and having coffee and enjoying it. We were right near the fourth ward, which was incredible, the fourth arrondissement. And I went for a walk, and all of a sudden I could just see, it was almost as if you think about the future as a matrix. If you think about the future as something that is a bunch of different boxes, maybe there's a color pattern to them, but you can't really see where it's going, but it's out there, right? It's like a pathway, and it's there, but you don't understand it. I could almost see it reorganizing itself into a very clear path. And I started to envision when I could live in Paris. I don't want to live there full time. I want to live there a few months out of the year. And I started to piece together an actual plan. When my youngest daughter graduates from high school and goes off to college, I can start with it maybe a few weeks, maybe a month. I started looking at Airbnbs, long term rentals, things like that, so that I could envision what it is. And I could see myself. I could see myself going into my favorite cafe and being greeted by the people who are there on a regular basis. Bonjour, Heather, welcome, right? I could feel it, literally feel it in my bones. And that was when it went from being a daydream to something that I consistently visualize. I created this, and I had somebody once say to me, "Don't put all of the things you want behind you on your bookshelf because you don't look at those all day." But quite frankly, I feel like I'm on Zoom calls or on live calls or on video all the time. So I see what's behind me a little bit more than I see what's in front of me. And when I'm looking at my computer, I'm not looking at what's in front of me anyway. I'm working. Otherwise, I'm not sitting at my desk because that's not the life that I've built for myself. Thank goodness. I don't have to just sit at my desk and do nothing. I get to decide who and how I want to live my life and build my business. You see, there's something pretty amazing that happens once you decide that the thing you've always dreamed of is no longer just a dream, but something you are taking intentional action on. Now, we have a tool in NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. So I'm a subconscious reprogramming expert. We have a tool called time techniques. Now, we can set goals on your future timeline through time techniques, which is so freaking cool. I love that so much. In fact, I have a client who's joining us in Costa Rica, which I love. She is a retainer VIP client, and we work on whatever it is that she needs on a consistent basis. And we set a goal on her future timeline to make a really big move across country. And at the time, I think she thought, well, that's a cute idea, but it'll never really happen. And then about 6 weeks ago, she goes, it's happening. Like action has been taken. We're making the move, which is incredible, right? So combining mindset and the desire, the believing that you're worthy, choosing to be worthy, knowing yourself really well, which is where human design comes in, getting to understand how you're designed to experience the world, how to manifest, how to create, and then taking intentional action with subconscious reprogramming is so powerful, but it requires a lot of different steps. First, you have to decide to be there for yourself, to show up for yourself, to say yes to yourself, to dream beyond imagination. Whatever it is, if you catch yourself shutting down your dreams because they feel impossible, you are limiting yourself. You are literally handicapping yourself. Don't do that. I don't want that for you. And I hope that you don't want it for yourself, right? So you move into this space where you believe that the impossible is suddenly possible and you don't have to know how. You just take the first step and then you take the next step and then you take the next step. That's how we create. That's how we manifest is showing up differently. And I'm wondering what dreams keep whispering to you? What would change in your life if you stopped dismissing things as impossible and start listening and being informed, getting this soul intel? What could you imagine if you didn't put boundaries and binary rules around your dreams? What is possible for you? I love that. It's one of the things that I want to do in Costa Rica. We do have spots available. If you are ready to step up and prioritize some time for yourself, take a trip of a lifetime, go on a little adventure. The Imaloa Institute in Costa Rica is one of the most magical places I have ever been. And the truth is, when I was standing on the ground, it felt like there was a golden cord coming up from the core of the earth through my body and connecting me to the cosmos. I literally vibrated with the energy of the universe. I was able to see myself so much more clearly, to hear myself more clearly. And it was beautiful and still and slow and patient and loving. And I know that everybody who joins us for 6 days, all inclusive, at the Reclaim Your Peace retreat in Costa Rica, I know you are going to have a transformation. I may not know exactly what your transformation is going to be, but I know it will happen because it's impossible not to transform in this space. We're doing things like cacao ceremonies, sound healing, high vibe breath work, somatic movement, um, all sorts of beautiful reflective space. We have indigenous practitioners, so much healing time and connection and community with all these beautiful heart-centered individuals. So I can promise you, if you're interested in something like that, we have retreat rates as low as $2,900 for the whole shebang, which is amazing. So truly think about whether or not you want to say yes to yourself. Um, One of the things I like to do at the end of my weekly live show is pull a Create Brave card. The Create Brave cards are a deck of manifestation cards that I co created with my friend Rachel. And they are about helping you manifest in a unique, creative way. So if you like these cards and you want to get a set, you can grab them on my website, vickeryandco.com. They're kind of like affirmation cards, oracle cards, whatever. And I love shuffling them and having them available for the live show because I feel like inevitably, whatever message we get is exactly the one that we needed to hear for this particular live show topic. Oh, there it is. I always just kind of wait until the card that's meant for me finds me, and it always like sort of pops out, literally. So here we go. Awaken. How perfect is that? I remain open to what is being revealed. Awaken. I mean, that's the answer, right? That's it. That's what we're doing. We're awakening. Awaken. I remain open to what's being revealed. That is the whole freaking point, is it not? Of this show, of being alive, of being aware. How else do we build a life that we're madly in love with, where we trust ourselves and we lead from embodied joy? We have to be awake. We have to be aware. Awareness is the first thing that we need to create any shift or change in life. You have to be aware first. And then one of two things happens. You either take intentional action or you willfully ignore it and you feel bad about it. And you know that's what you're doing. And eventually you can't stand feeling bad about your choices anymore. That's what happens in life. So awaken. I remain awake to what's being revealed. What are your daydreams? What are the things that you channel when nobody's expecting anything from you, when you're in the middle of doing something mundane or ordinary? What shows up for you? What is possible for you? If you had no barriers, if money were no object, if time and space and life were no obstacle, what would be true for you? I'd love to hear. Let me know. All right, folks, that is going to be our live show for today. Hey, I want to remind you every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central, I do Ask Me Anything office hours. You can come and we can talk about human design or subconscious reprogramming, the retreat, the Create Brave cards. We can just talk about your favorite books you're reading. I'm always reading good books, what you're watching on TV, movies that you're loving, anything you want to talk about. Bring your tea, your coffee, your bottle of water, whatever it is, and let's connect every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central. It's totally free. You can sign up on my website to get the link, vickeryandco.com. I would love to see you on Tuesday at Ask Me Anything office hours. It's open to everybody. Anybody is welcome. And it's just a nice little space for us to spend time together, which is a treat, right? Because we have to be here for one another. We have to build community together. We don't live on an island. We're not on a monolith. We do need one another. And I want to be your supporter. I want to be your cheerleader. I want to see you thrive. I want to hear what you're winning. I want to know what you're grateful for. I want to see and hear and experience what's bringing you joy. So please join me Tuesdays, 12 p.m. Central for Ask Me Anything office hours. Come back next Thursday for Live with Heather Vickery, my weekly live show. I am on Substack. I'm writing quite a bit on Substack if you want to come hang out over there. And if you're interested in working with me, you want to know more about your human design, you can get a free human design chart on my website, vickeryandco.com. Just follow Work With Me to get your free human design chart. Amazing. If you want to do subconscious reprogramming, you want to know more about that, let me know. But there are so many free ways for you to connect with me and to show up for yourself. And I hope that you will make that choice. Thank you so much for being here with me today. My name is Heather Vickery, reminding you today and every single day to go out and choose yourself bravely. All right. Bye now.